What is up, guys? So we just hit 200 subscribers, so thank you guys so much. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you guys for 200 subscribers. I'm serious, guys. I'm serious. I'm dead ass. Thank you guys for 200 subscribers. Yeah, anyway, so I posted what season do I rank for 200 sub special, and 40 people voted. Most people said season 3. Actually, 57% people said season 3. And you know, there were some comments and people said, okay, well, this guy said he's the only one to vote. That wasn't true. And then this guy said season 3 is by far the best season. So I guess I gotta do season 3 now. Anyway, guys, I just want to say thank you guys for 200 subscribers, and let's get into the video. Why so serious? Alright, guys, so on this tier list, we have S, A, B, C, and D. S being the best, D being the worst. Now, we have every single episode of Season 3. This is one with Michonne, and the last episode is the one with the governor, said to go outside the truck. Anyway, guys, I'm going to give you a brief description on what happened that episode, and then I'm going to rank it. Guys, do not get mad at this ranking. This is my ranking. And if you want to leave hate comments, I'm always down to read them because I think they're funny as hell. So go for it. And also, don't forget to join the Discord, link in the description. All right, first episode, let's go. So, the first episode is called Seed. It says, after months on the run, the group takes refuge at a federal prison, while elsewhere, Andrea's health starts to disintegrate. Okay, now, putting that into perspective, this is the episode that they get the prison, all right? I mean, come on, like, it starts off the episode, like, Lori's pregnant, they're like, shit, we need to find a place to stay, and then Rick and Daryl, they're like, hey, let's get this shit in prison, bro. Anyway, they go to the prison, they clear it out, it's dope as hell. I think this is a good-ass episode, alright? It had, actually, you know what, it was pretty good, alright? It was pretty good. I'm gonna put it S because I know there are some episodes in here that aren't the greatest, but come on, it's season 3, like you guys said. Come on, guys, it's top tier. So episode 2 is Sick. As Herschel's condition worsens, Rick, Daryl, and T-Dog deal with the group of prisoners. So now, how the end of episode 1 ends is Herschel gets in the leg, and they had to chop it off. This episode's pretty good. It also introduces the prisoners, which I forget their names. Anyway, there's a big dude, little dude, a guy with the, what was that? Why do things keep popping up with my camera? 3, 2, 1. Guys, it did it last video. I don't know, but balloons popped up in my camera somehow. Anyway, guys, yeah, I'm gonna have to put this at A. It's not the best, it's not the worst, and it's pretty good if it's at A, alright? Episode 3, here we go. Episode 3 is Walk With Me. Andrea and Michonne are brought to the walled community run by a man called the Governor. Alright, now, guessing on this ranking, it's not that good. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, come on. I mean, this is also when we're introduced to Andrea and Michonne. Andrea we're not introduced into, but we're also introduced that she's still alive. Michonne, it's her introduction. People would put it B, but I think it's A. Like, that's not bad of an episode. We also find out Merle's still alive. Alright, now, episode 4, we don't really need a walkover on this. It's called Killer Within. Lori ends up dying, and she ends up giving birth to Judith. Encounter of Judith, a main character, W. Let's add that to the S tier, man. Let's get into it, episode 5. Now, again, there's only 16 episodes, so, you know, if you guys want me to do this again, of course I will do it again, man. I'm a Walking Dead fan. Who doesn't love The Walking Dead? Pretty much a lot of people. Anyway, episode 5. Say the word. Rick struggles to cope. Andrea and Michonne part ways, and Daryl and Maggie head out to find food and clothes for the baby. Now, Daryl and Maggie set out to a house. Michonne is the reason they split up because Michonne goes looking. She just doesn't feel like Woodbury, which is the place the governor's at, is safe, so she leaves. Ends up finding the prison. Later episode, spoil. And Rick is he's going crazy. Also, apparently, according to this photo, the governor shows her when they start fighting each other. That's a pretty good episode. It's not the greatest. It's when Rick starts going crazy, but it's not the peak of when Rick starts going crazy, so I'm gonna have to put that at B. Now, the ranking for that is 8, so I can see how that makes sense. Anyway, episode 6, Hounded. Rick receives a mysterious phone call. Andrea grows closer to the governor. She has sex with him, by the way. Spoils! And also Merle tries to hunt down Michonne, which he calls her Michonne. If you guys get that reference. It's pretty funny. Anyway, guys, this is a pretty good episode. I like how Rick goes crazy in this. And I'm about to put that S, only because I think it's dope as hell. He's like calling them, and the first one that picks up, I'm pretty sure, is Amy from season 1, and she's like, we have a space, and we also, like, there's no zombies. And he's like, what? Tell me where it is. And then next up is Shane. Shane comes up, and he's like, we can't let you in. And then Lori starts talking to him, and then he realizes, he's like, oh shit, I know who you guys are. I'm going crazy. I'm talking to myself here. Crazy plot twist. And also, he starts to kind of get a little bit better after this episode. Not really, but, you know. Anyway, oh, I gotta do my research. Hold on. Okay, anyway, guys, episode 7, When the Dead Comes Knocking. When the Dead Come Knocking. Okay, don't quote me on that. Anyway, Michonne leads Rick, Daryl, and Oscar, which is the one dude from the prison. That's what I meant. To Woodbury to rescue Glenn and Maggie. Merle tries to force information out of Glenn. This is a good-ass episode. All right. A lot of memes were made out of this where it's like bros Riz and the governor's like, take off your shirt. Anyway, this is a good-ass episode. Okay, there's a lot. I can see why you guys wanted me to choose season 3. This is a good-ass tier list. There's not going to be any episodes that are like very low in the rankings because... First off, The Walking Dead's a GOAT, all right? The Walking Dead is the GOAT. And, yeah, no, this was a good-ass episode. Like, literally, get mad at me in the comments if I'm capping. Literally, this episode's good. He tortures Glenn. Glenn clutches up, breaks a chair, kills a walker, and then, Maggie was touched. That's not good. Don't touch people. Anyway, guys, next up we have episode 8! Made to Suffer. Rick and Daryl, Michonne, and Oscar enter Woodbury in search of Glenn, Maggie. Meanwhile, a new group of survivors encounter the prison. This is Tyrese. If you guys watched my other video where I talk about ranking top characters, I added Tyrese in there because Tyrese is my favorite character. Or also, if you go back to my favorite character out of each season, Tyrese. Tyrese is my favorite character. This dude was a W. He was like a main character in the friggin' comics. If you guys haven't watched the comics, go watch them. Read them. Go read them. They're so good. Anyway, Tyrese is my favorite character. In this episode, Glenn comes, and I mean, come on. Like, Glenn, no! Tyrese, this is Tyrese's first episode. And also, the governor gets his eyeball gouged out. W episode, mainly because of Tyrese, but also, I mean, that was a pretty big plot when Michonne stabbed out the governor's eye. I mean, come on. Anyway, episode 9, The Suicide King. This is a very low rating for some reason. I Ain't Judas apparently has a 7.7. That's horrible. Anyway, Woodbury is left in disarray following the attack of Rick's group. Merle presents in the group, causes conflict. Yeah, anyway, Merle joins their group now, and, they're like, you know, what up? And then, he clutches up with Daryl. Wasn't that good of an episode. And I mean, the ranking's not that good either, but I mean, come on. It was a little boring of an episode. But the next one's better. All right, next up we got Home, episode 10. Rick continues to see versions of Lori. The governor plans an assault on the prison. Daryl and Merle fend for themselves out in the forest. This is also a good episode. Good storytelling with Daryl and Merle. Talks about how Daryl was abused by his father, and Merle left, and then Daryl didn't have Merle to look after him anymore. And then they talk about how they were gonna rob the group in season 1, but they ended up sticking with them. And then they save a nice family on the bridge. This was a good episode, okay? And also Rick's is seeing versions of Lori. and then almost kisses a zombie. Yeah, it was gross. You gotta watch the episode to know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm gonna put that at A. It wasn't the best, but it was also pretty good. It was good storytelling on Daryl. We need to know more about Daryl because he wasn't in the comics. Episode 11, I Ain't Judas. Do I even have to rate this? I mean, come on, it's the lowest episode that we've seen so far, other than Arrow on the doorpost, and also I'm going to rate that very low because you'll see why in a second. Anyway, as Rick and the group debate on their next course of action, Andrea tries to negotiate with them. Meanwhile, the governor prepares Woodbury for battle. Now, this is when Andrea actually comes up to the prison, and she's like, I'm alive, but also you guys gotta chill out. I'm like having sex with him. Bye! And, you know, I mean, come on. What really happened in that episode? What in that episode were you like, shit, I'm so glad. I would rewatch that episode. It was so good. Nothing. You wouldn't do that. Episode 12, clear. Do I even have to explain this? I'm gonna explain it in my own terms. Rick, Michonne, and Carl, go looking for supplies for Judith because she's a baby and she ain't got no shit. And, they end up finding Merle. And this is the crazy episode where Michonne eats his protein bar. Very devastating story. Anyway, let's go into episode 13. Arrow of the Doorstep. Do I even have to explain this? This was a 40-minute long episode of Rick and the governor talking. It was horrible! It's like, what's going on here? Is there going to be any action? No. Just Rick and the governor talking at a table for 40 freaking minutes. Prey, episode 14. The governor hunts down Andrea and she flees Woodbury. Meanwhile, tensions arise with within Tyrese's group, and the governor plan for Rick's group is sabotaged. Rick's group is sabotaged. Okay, so Tyrese does not clutch up here. He kind of tells them what's going on. I'm gonna put this A, only because it was actually dope as hell watching Andrea flee away from the governor. Actually, after she realized he was kind of fucking crazy. Yeah. Episode 15. This Sorrow's life. While Rick decides the fate of Michonne, Merle takes matters into his own hands. This is the episode that Merle dies. Actually, he died last episode, I'm pretty sure. He died last episode, but he's not found until this episode. I might be wrong, don't quote me for it, but Merle's death is in this episode. Very sad. And Rick decides the fate of Michonne. I think this is where he's like, I'm sorry, but you gotta go, because the governor says, we'll kill you unless you give us Michonne. And then Michonne's like, please don't, Rick, I love you. And he's like, I love you too, but not for a couple more seasons. And then he lets her stay. This ends up with Merle dying, so I'm pretty sure he dies this episode. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to rank it a B. For here, it's an 8.8. I might have to put it A then. Alright, the chart doesn't lie. Alright, now episode 16, the last episode, Welcome to the Tombs. As Rick and the group prepare for the governor's impending attack, Andrea fights to escape captivity. Does she die this episode? Yes. And no one likes Andrea, so we're gonna put that there. Anyway, guys, this was the ranking for Season 3. Thank you guys so much for 200 subscribers. I love you guys so much. And don't forget to don't forget. Hold on. Don't forget to have an amazing day. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Also, don't forget, leave some comments, Leave some comments telling me what you want. I'll make the video, man. Come on. I'll even show you out. Alright, see you guys. Love you guys so much. Thank you guys for 200 subscribers. Bye!